Oh, still sleeping. She already got up with though, so she's not sleeping. She's resting. I had such a hard time sleeping growing up. She said, "Okay, then lay there and rest. Lay there and get some rest. Then just be quiet and leave me alone. You bug me, kid." I'm gonna get my table and turn down the heat. How's that? Fuck lighting, man. I hate this shit. I hate all of it. Being a human being is dumb. I'm gonna be an alien. I'm an alien. All of a sudden, poof, there she was. An alien on planet Earth, all alone in Taos, New Mexico. Alien. What is an alien? I think an alien's just somebody that ain't born and raised in no place. We're an outsider to all. Luna got a bellyache today. I can't put the light on that side. She woke up with the bellyache. I don't know if she got too hot. She's getting old, too. We're all just getting old. Everybody's getting old. I feel like I'm aging, like, quick. In some ways, but some ways, I just am never going to mature. I just won't do it. They can't make me. They can't make me do a little bit of a girl. So pretty. Cause you're the missy. So don't make it. I think it's the yams in her dog food that gave her a little bit of a bellyache. Little girl. Goodness. Good girl. Alrighty, you want this fan on too, honey? There, is that for you? Oh, it's hot. It's getting hot. There you go. Go lay down next to Grandma Retta. Go lay down next to Grandma Retta. What was I even going to talk about today? I am so ill-prepared, but I wanted to talk earlier before later. I'm sitting on my phone now. Confounded. The indecency of it all. This song don't help yet. I think I'm over this song. It's time to... I've been deleting so much music and so much... I've been deleting so much from a life that isn't mine anymore. I keep some stuff around for nostalgia, but mostly people are like... God, they're being loyal to scumbags and stuff like that for stupid stuff. Like, what are they doing over there again? I've been saying for 9 years that people ain't listening. America and D.C., Washington, D.C., and Hollywood, they're the same. They both exist to get people to say, America's great. America ain't that dope. America ain't that rad. America's been lying as long as they've been writing history books. Because the math ain't mathin'. And I'm not a mathematician, but I'm a psychic intuitive, and I've been putting this stuff together for a long time because I was on Crete in 2003 when we bombed Iraq for no reason the last time. But you got these machismos, and they grow up with these ideologies and these frequencies. And it's men and women too, it's not just men. You can have the machismo in the woman too, and it's just that energy that might's right. And I'm gonna be a peaceful being, but until I don't get my way, don't get my way, and then I'm gonna throw a tantrum like a child, and that's what people are figuring out the government is. Bunch of children. Dude, what? Poli-sci is acting class, for Christ's sake. Political science? It's where they go to teach the program about things like political posturing. I remember back when I was heavily immersed in 3D Earth still, but I've always been kind of on the fringe because I'm a Scorpio moon. It's Scorpio moon today. So we might go a little bit dark. So if people don't like it dark and shadowy, you might want to go to Sedona and not be here. So they've been lying for so long, and they don't have the actors, they don't have the supporting actors anymore. They don't, America doesn't have the personnel to put people in uniforms to play the role of the big, strong, tough people that are going to protect us. See, they've been hiding under the guise of safety and security by telling us that there's things that we need to be afraid of. You understand that? I've been in more danger by the hands of people that I have loved than any stranger. And it's a lot worse when you deal with it from people that you're related to, when it's the betrayal comes from inside. That's why that's why they like to, you know, that game that they used to play, people, oh, hey buddy, how you doing today? Buddy buddy. The hey buddy buddy game. Hey buddy, how you doing? Oh, I'm great. How are you? I'm good. Good. Weather's nice, yeah. Hey, could you do me a favor? That is the buddy buddy. That is what America, that is what Keg's Breath is about. They're all they're all car salesmen. They watch too much of that show in the 80s and 90s in their formative years when their little pea brains were gathering its cells, and they watch things like what was that show with that Leach guy? The guy's name was Leach, Robin Leach. And come on, give me a break. You'll feel better. It's a sad world. You know what I do when I get sad? I go do things for other people. I'll go give people, I'll go out and I'll give people these stickers I have made, because straight people like rainbows too, and magnets. That's what I do when I'm sad. I can't just sit there and be sad, man. I gotta be into action. I gotta get up and go be sad while I'm trying to make somebody else feel better. And it never not works. It works every single time. That's the best thing that I learned from recovery and AA, is that when I get too much in my head, because I live there, I don't live on the same planet as the rest of people that believe in politics and organized religion and sporting events and wasting time just going from one place to another just to be who you are someplace else. And nobody does much to make things better. I live in a tourist town. You think people come here and make Taos a better place? No. Thank you. I got this done. The tattoo artist isn't at the same shop. See, I'm out of this world. I never lived on this planet. This one is for my sister, got killed on the back of a motorcycle back in 2023, because she went by 6. Got your 6? And that's me. I'm standing turtle. I'm a Heyoka. Standing turtles don't run. My second one, that's Calvin. So my higher power is the mischievousness of Calvin. Ha! See, I believe tattoos, I know tattoos are scars from past lives. So they tell a story. I was 10 years old. I read a book by Ray Bradbury called The Illustrated Man. It's a real quick read. I just read books and then I start thinking of my own ideas. I don't like reading much because I know osmosis exists. So I don't want to bother. But I am going to do a couple of book studies. I want to read this book, and I figure if I read it online, The Power of Myth with Bill Moyers, if I've maybe other people want to hear this stuff too, because it's pretty dope stuff. Myth in the modern world, because the modern world is a myth. We're born at a certain time. Everybody's born. Everybody has a shelf life, a dash between their start date and their expiration date. And what we do with that dash determines our existence on this earth. There's a lot of people that just do rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, and everybody serves their place. I've been rinse, repeat. I used to go to all the big concerts. I used to work in all the big places. I used to do all the important things until I was called to be a stay-at-home daughter. Because that was always my primary purpose. It was like, because when I was 15 years old, Mom got her head slammed in a car door, I knew at some point the dash. I love the dash. I love the dash. And then I look around and I'm like, I just see reflections of me and other people, because that's all I do. I mirror. They mirror me. I mirror them. We're just a bunch of reflections. And I don't do 3D Earth. And so let's see. But I have other books I want to read here. These are other good books here. I just hate reading, so I wish I could find somebody to read me a damn book, because I just don't like reading, because I like to process and things like that. Oh, here they are. Here they are. This is a good one too. The Language Crystal. This is by Lawrence. What is it? William Lyons. Larry will lie. Larry will lie. Lawrence William Lyons. Larry will lie. Oh, well, I don't care. It's about the word. So this is another good book. There was only one left on Amazon when I bought it. So that's cool. And then I got this one. See, people think I look dumb. It's my superpower. I'm not really stupid. They just don't give me a chance. And my way my brain processes, I think so fast I gotta talk and move slow. This is probably an important book right now, because America don't know much about vision and values and stuff like that. I just take what I can use and I leave what I can't. That's what I do in life. I moved around a lot. I was thinking about that today. It's been at the end of this month. It's been 9 years since I started doing these tube talks. 9 years I've been telling people about. I've been basically auditing planet Earth. I guess there's that whole auditing world, the world of auditing. Dude, Jimmy Wigg, he does a great job on TikTok. He just busted out people for ripping people, meat company for ripping people off. So I love the reporters, like just sharing the truth. That's what I've been trying to do for 9 years. And so when I started doing this talk, my very first talk ever was called Sharing is Caring, and yes, I do. And it was March 26th. It's the day after my dad's birthday, so my channel's the first Deacon Aries. I'm a second Deacon Aries. So every start date, we're imprinted with energy. That the planets and stars and constellations hold this energy, and then we're born at a certain time, at a certain place, and we're like zapped with these cosmic energies, and then our soul sac is formed, and then we navigate through the world holding these energies that were given to us at this time. And then we navigate and we act accordingly, is what they say. I believe that we can live above our astrology, that we can rise above who we are and evolve to different versions of us, regardless of how stringent our placements are. Like, I know people look at my chart and they're like, this crazy bitch, right? Because they're coming from their frame of reference. They're seeing this and they're comparing me to every person they ever known, and I ain't like nobody they ever known. Everybody that's ever met me, they know they never met. They see people, oh, you look like someone I know, and then I see the person that I'm supposed to look like, and then I understand the person I'm dealing with has a perception problem. Because no, man, no, that ain't me. This douche, I went to the groceries. I don't like to go out unless I have a reason to go out. And this a-hole, like, this is why I don't like people, because they can't just take words. I've had to take words, hits, punches, kicks, sexual assault, I've had to take so many things. And I'm at a place I don't take stuff no more. And so this shitball, I pull up into the grocery store yesterday. This fuckface. This scumbag, look at all his little gallon water jugs. Like, he clearly didn't take care of himself. Right? And he's like 6'3". He's a bigger man than me. And so I pull up into a spot because I like to be helpful. And I pull up to a spot and there's a cart there. And so I pull up and I was like, cool, I got my water bug. I'm going to grab that cart. I'm going to use that cart to take it inside. I get out of my car, go walk around the front to get the cart, and I see that that man that I showed a picture of had grabbed the cart and walked it over to the front. And I was like, hey, like, I was using that. I was going to use that, dude. He just ignored me, or he didn't hear me, one or the other. Probably has freaking wax balls in his ears because he's a dirty, dirty man. And so he gets his cart, comes back, starts filling up a big cart with his jugs. I said, man, I was going to use that cart, man, and you put it away because you Donnie Do-Good. You're one of those Donald Do-Goods. Like, you don't consent. I even yelled at you, dude. And he fucking started mouthing off at me, and then he rammed his cart into me. I said, dude, I am not that bitch. I am not the one that you want to be running your... I said, don't run your cart into me, man! Treat me however you want. I'll tell the whole fucking world what an asshole you are. And I expect the return. If I want people to help me keep me accountable, put me on blast. Record. If I'm acting like a fool in the world, hashtag it third eye activated. Because people have a misconception that this third eye activated and your kundalini awakening and your chakras being degaussed and in alignment or whatever. They think that it's just being nice all the time. No, that's fraudulent behavior. Nice people are frauds. Because I know too many people, more people don't feel good. And they got to take that pain and they got to put it someplace. I've seen it my whole entire life. Because they take what they got and they don't live above their astrology. So they don't think I can. So when people, I paid probably $1,000 in the last 5 years. Over, like, no, maybe 600, 700. But some people want just, God, some people, you read how much they think their opinion is worth. It's absurd how much people think their opinion is. What you doing, dog? You going out, you goofy girl? She's losing her marbles. Let's see. I added more pictures in my green screen. I wonder if it'll come up. This was a cool sky the other day. Oh, I like these. I like the beach from when I was... This one shows... Where's that one? Like this one. Like this one, the ocean is coming this way and the waves were going out that way. Like, that looks fake. Doesn't that look fake? I always thought the world, like, what is real supposed to look like? Because the world always looked fake to me. Always looked fake to me. Let's hang out with the horses because you're the horse. That's kind of fun. See, I don't need fake intelligence. I got my own. I A lot of people are going to get knocked off their high horses this year. Because the truth always comes out. It always comes out. Whether you want it to come out or not. You can't keep secrets. You can't. And then people have secrets, and then they get so scared that their secrets are going to be figured out that they're so afraid that they make their fear happen. Wait, there. That was a cool. That was like, yo, what's up, West Side? I never done a gangster sign, but that's what that picture reminds me of. That's at Silver Falls, Oregon, outside of Salem. They got like 10 waterfalls. I don't ever got to see another waterfall again. All I got to do is close my eyes and remember that time I did that thing. So, people are catching up with themselves and who they are in real life. They can't hide it anymore. They could for a long time, especially if they drink alcohol and consume drugs. You become the addict and you lose the person that you're trying to get the world to know who you are. That was kind of a cool picture. This is kind of a weird picture, actually. It doesn't let me zoom in on the camera. That don't make no sense. I miss this guy. I miss my dogs. One day I'll get to go back to heaven and be with all my dogs. This is a cool picture. I got like 80,000 pictures in my phone. Well, that's not the right one. Where's the other one? It was right next to it. I got pictures from when I got to go down Grand Canyon. Oh, here's the picture. This is the picture. You can see the wind coming off the land. That is air and water. That's air and water crossing paths. That because the air's going out and the water's coming in, and then it gives you this effect. I can't point at it. That it gives you this effect right here. And clouds do the same thing. I got this picture of a cloud yesterday. I think I'll make it my thumbnail today. It looks, I got a lot of, look at this freaking cloud. Look at, it looks just like that wave in the ocean. This was over, like you got that wave and then you got like this cloud. I got a storm that was coming in Taos yesterday. I love the weather because except for what it does to people, it gives it, I don't know, it does weird stuff to me too, so I understand. It gets me all keyed up, it gets me all fired up. My body and my mind have a hard time differentiating the difference between a good surprise and a bad surprise. That's the easiest way to say it. See, I've had a lot of years of practice on how to I guess live life, navigate through life, even though I'm scared to do things all the time. I'm always have this because I'm up here. I vibe up here. And like I said, my body doesn't know if up here is like heightened security, super vigilant. My mind always thinks I need to be that way, even when I go to the grocery store. And so it makes it so I don't want to go to the grocery store anymore because assholes hit me with their carts. I never hit nobody on purpose with my cart in my life. And see, what happens is you have people that act like assholes when they're young, and then they learn how to pretend like they're not. Or maybe they don't. Maybe they just live out loud, just being disruptive and breaking things and causing harm and pillaging and raping and all that, because that's just what men do when they're in charge. And then they designate themselves in charge so they can do this nonsense stuff. And it really breaks my heart because I love this land. I love the land of America. I do. It's every administration that has sucked for all time. And I even got the colonial blood in me. I got blood. My blood was in the room when they signed the Declaration of Independence. That's how DNA works. Like, you have people that are born that lived thousands of years ago, and then they have babies and that die, and babies and die, that recycle people, and that blood is carried through these different soul sacs of these people. And then here we are today. And you take your last breath, and that breath goes out to the no place space, where all the data and all the information is held, where you can access it through prayer and meditation, just getting quiet and getting out of your own way. You can ask questions, get all the answers you want, whether they're good or wrong. It's like Tor, whatever they use. I accessed the dark web 2 times. I installed the Thor browser just to see what it was all about. It was all about stuff that doesn't matter to me. That's what it's all about. None of that stuff takes care of people. None of that stuff makes lives any better. Everybody's fighting over people are going to have a hard time when they don't got water to drink. It takes like 42 a day, 24. You don't got water, you're dead. 48 hours for sure. Dead, dehydrated. We need water to live, and people would rather use that to freaking play their stupid reindeer games because they don't have practical skills. Give people things to do that are practical, and then they can divvy up their time from playing too much and doing their practical stuff. Artists are good, artists are important, creativity is a nice escape, but when you have people that all they do is art and paint and screw around and play around, because that's all that is, an outlet. It's an outlet. It's getting all the angst out that you get from working hard, but you have all these people that all they do is play, and then you have all these people over here is that they work hard, they're just working all the time, working 2 jobs, 3 jobs. They can't keep up with what the world wants so that they can live comfortably, because that's all people want, is to be comfortable. They don't want to go to war. They don't want to do the... last year, the United States government spent $4 billion on male enhancement drugs that clearly didn't work. And do you understand that those little pills, all they do is they instigate blood flow? The rest of being a man is up to the man and what he says in his mind. I'm a man. I'm doing man things. I'm a man. I'm doing man things. That's like the narrative of men brains. I'm gonna wreck this car. I'm gonna run my car into this because it's getting gnarly out there. Thank goodness my car keeps breaking down, so I'm not really a part of it. God protects me by breaking my car, so whatever, dude. I'll get to wherever I need to go, however I need to get there. I'll take the bus, I'll walk, put on my backpack. I did it a lot of years. It's no different than now. I was thinking this morning about people like, I like to watch Sloan Bella. She's like a life mentor to me. I first started watching Sloan Bella. I was probably 15 years old, 16. I'm going to be 52. And she was on a show. She had really big hair. She was buxom. She's a buxom blonde is what they called them. But she wasn't a dumb blonde. She was so smart. And she was on this show with psychic kids. And I was a sidekick kid. Sidekick kid. Sidekick. I'm a sidekick. I'm psychic. And she would help these kids navigate through their psychic abilities, which empowered them to help them be more of who they are. And I watched her do that. And when she was doing that for them, she was doing that for me. Mom always had me live in my abilities, but she said I had to be careful about who knows, because people will take advantage. And then I can't be one of those people that take advantage, because then if you become one of them, you lose what you got. And I don't don't really necessarily want what I got, but I deal with it the best that I can. I'm one of the. I hear. Psychic until everybody's a radio. They just pick and choose what they tune into, and most of it's like the same. Like when I watch people that are sports fans, to me, it's such a fascinating mindset because they are essentially watching this one game. They're watching it with different players that wear different uniforms, but it's the same game just over and over. And I can't do the same. It's my Saturn placements or it's my Mars. I think it's my Mars. I looked up recently. It's my Mars placements. I can't do the same. It makes me blah. Where is it? I'm going to try and circumvent the system. They want me to go through their VSO bullshit. They want me to help other people that are useless at their job in the VA system in New Mexico. They want me to talk with them to channel up my loss of hearing benefit. That's what they want. So I submitted it a different way, so we'll see how it goes. I don't like dealing with people. I try to do everything online, but they limit you. Especially in New Mexico, they make it so you have to go through the clinic, and then the clinic will expedite you, but the clinic don't want to expedite you. Because it's just a dumb place. How did I end up in this stupid fucking town, dude? I try to be dumb so I can talk to these people. I try to treat them like they're intelligent. They just can't grasp it, so I dumb myself down. And I just can't get my needs met. And these are benefits that are owed to me. And it's like, give me the chain of command and I'll email every one of them. And I bet it's because they don't have... America's built on policies and procedures, rules, regulations to get people to be puppets, but the people that are designating what these rules, regulations, they don't have any rule. You think they drive the speed limit? You think no, Congress people, they get rides in freaking Escalades with security teams. And all the money's spent on them because they talk about all the important things that they do. But none of the stuff that they do is important. There's never any reason for Americans to go without health care while we're freaking like you're gonna freaking you're still going with the same story. Hey, Uncle Sam, we're still supposed to buy the same nonsense. Like, because of freedom and democracy and gay while away, we gotta kill people over there. Like, we have bombs, but nobody else can. That kind of makes us the asshole, is what I say. I don't believe atom bombs even exist in the United States. I don't think nukes and stuff, I don't think they exist because I think that the men that place themselves in charge aren't intelligent enough to navigate to get what they want done, because evil won't prosper. And they're not smart enough. They're conniving, they're manipulative, they're wicked, they're sinister. But intelligence is something that comes from your heart. Mind, body, heart congruence. That is what true intelligence derives from. And people don't have that. I see, you can tell me all day long that you're traveling around here to do this conference and talk here and, ooh, come listen to what I have to say and pay me money because I'm so important. If people don't use that to better lives for other people, you're just another false idol for profit. That's what I see. Fake people and real people. I keep looking all over. Where are the real people? Where are the real people? I just see fake people. They're easy to see. Usually their faces are different. They're not the same face they were born with. Those are fake people. People that care more about monetary value and the benefits and perks they get from money, which is fake, than just being a authentic, good-hearted, decent person. And as far as I'm concerned, if you're gonna feed people, the homeless people on the street, stop trying to kill them quicker by feeding them freaking trash food like pizza. Like you're giving people that don't have bathrooms the shits. How does that make sense? They're trying to feed the ego, not the spirit. We got to nourish the body, then the spirit starts perking up a little bit more. They don't want to do the work. I keep hearing about, oh, I've done the work. I've done my shadow work. I've done this. I've done that. I'm like, well, okay. Now what are you going to do with it? It's great that people have done all this stuff. Now what are they going to do with what they've got? What are they going to do with it? I have windows of opportunity because my primary purpose, my sole purpose is Mom's comfort and her health and her well-being. All of it. Everything I do is so she's comfortable. That's it. And so I go out to the store, I go do this, I go do that, I have to put up with this bullshit because this person doesn't like how I look, or this person doesn't like my attitude, or this person doesn't like my tone, and all these things. And you know, like, they don't care, you know, like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and I'm not even, I'm thinking about doing what I need to do and getting home and getting Mom her oatmeal and hopefully making it safe because I can't find a fucking mechanic that can figure out what's wrong with my car without giving them thousands and thousands of dollars. And so I'm in this loop again. But I just get stuck in this loop. And then I look for guidance and be like, hey, how long is this loop? How long do I got to ride this butt train? Because I don't like it. I just want to be able to get in my car and go driving around the fucking town without it stalling, dying, gasping, you know, doing all this shit, you know, where I got to worry about something else. Yeah, I see plenty of people, they don't worry about stuff. Well, they're worried about it now because they didn't worry about it when it happened. Like, all the people I went to high school with and grew up with that just, they lived the same year. They never did anything different. So they're like, their mindset in 50-year-old bodies. That's what that's like, people don't, their bodies advance. Their minds really don't. Especially if they just keep doing those same things over and over. Oh, it's fall. What stupid sports season is that? Football. Oh, it's spring. What stupid, like, they tie themselves. And then they tie themselves to Hollywood with movies. Nostalgia. It's how they get ya. Remember that? How good life was the first time I saw Beetlejuice. No, it was never that good for me. And then the dad turned out to be a perv. Like, the people that play the roles are real icky. They're real life icky. And then it ruins the whole movie. I haven't been and then, like, Alec Baldwin evolves into what he became and ended up shooting that lady in New Mexico and killing her dead. No repercussions. Nope, no reprise. No consequence. I've seen my whole life deplorable, horrible deplorables do terrible things without one single consequence. And sometimes it's been hard not to be like them. Well, Marge, you know you're not going to get in trouble. They don't get in trouble. Go ahead. You can do it. You get away with it. Go ahead. You know, because, like, I grew up in the generation, like, just slash their tires. Just ruin their day. But see, you know, my mind don't say slash one tire, it's all of them. So, like, nice and real. But see, that's the thing, is because when people have dastardly thoughts, they can keep them in their head and use that energy to do something useful. That's what I do. I like to give people these stickers. I like to hide it doesn't matter if I move out of this town or stay here. Everywhere I go, I'm going to be who I am where I go, and I'm going to find the people, I'm going to hear the people's prayers, the people that are just like, fuck, man, I'm at my wit's end. I'm going to help those people. And then I'm going to see if they're like me. that just was like prayed and prayed and prayed for that lifeline, that just like that. I just need a little bit of help, God, just a little bit. I can do the rest. I just need a little bit. Like my stuff is always financial. Like I have bigger ideas than what the world says I am owed monetarily. And because I take care of mom, and she gets her under $900 a month from Social Security or disability or whatever she is. She's not on. We never lived on the same planet as everybody else, but she like 850 or what. And so whenever I get more in the VA, they take from her. That's how finances are done in my world. Yet military officers are bringing home $18,000 a month. And see that you understand that because we're military time over there, every person that's engaged over there, they're all getting tax-free and hazardous duty pay. People don't get that. People don't get military intelligence is an oxymoron like national security. So over there you value life, but here they don't value life anywhere. They're not real people. They don't have souls. People with souls don't want to cause harm to people. They can't look at somebody and see them suffer without being like acknowledging the suffering. And there's too many people out there that are getting their little rocks off from the suffering. And now the karma is coming back. America's a third world country now because of the energy, because of karma, the energy that we put out, the bombs that we dropped in other places. See, understand. There's a story, supposedly, I don't know, maybe this is bullshit too, because everything you see on a screen has the potential to be made up. But right now, this is part of the storm. Where is it? Where's my camera? What is happening? So, where is my... Turn off the fucking blue. Turn that off. Alright. So, look, I open up my app, and then it shows the storm, right? But because technology is so fallible, because it's made by men that are fallible, see that line right there? It just cuts off. Where'd the storm go? So is it not storming there because technology says it's not, or is it storming there? And there's a glitch in the matrix, right? So I let it refresh, and this is what it came up with. This is what's going on. So we might not have F-16s and F-17s. You understand all the planes that they dropped bombs with originally came from America, and what America's been doing the last 20 years is selling off their supply and not rebuilding, and they're making dumb mistakes. They're not. You don't have intelligent men in charge of things where intelligence need play a factor. You have egoic men doing what they want because they feel like it, and they're taking the whole planet down with us. So just get comfortable wherever you are. Do like I did. They always, just to get good with being comfortable and shit, Marge. Just get real comfortable with being uncomfortable. You'll be fine. So that's what the guidance that I offer other people. Things are going to get uncomfortable for a lot of people, and then when you go out, you're going to feel uncomfortable because you're going to be surrounded by all these uncomfortable people. But they're not doing anything to help other people. As soon as people get out of themselves and do things for other people, it's going to be a shift on the whole collective, I guarantee it. But people are just waiting for their savior, and their savior's not going to come. We're seeing so we might not see F-16s and F-15s fly over the United States and drop bombs on us. And understand, it's just a paint job with somebody else's flag and their little logos and their badges, because those planes are ours. Okay, but so we're probably not going to see that. I can't really see like Red Dawn shit kind of stuff. I don't see that. What I see is this. Because we're putting out the energy that the United States people, this is all tornadoes. This is all tornado. So there's art. Michigan has art like, and these are all. Every time I see this, I think of loss of life. I think of loss of infrastructure, loss of jobs because when the roof gets blown off in Menards, people can't go to work. They can't pay their rent. Like and I'm always looking for patterns, and so this is happening because of the bullshit. Do you think they're gonna do national disasters and stuff and FEMA and all that stuff for people in America? No, because we're too busy doing limp D energy over there in places we don't belong. Over there, so the gung ho can get the hoe. You see, that's why we go to war. Has nothing to do, it's all to stimulate the economy. Because a bunch of jerk offs are in charge. Put me in the room with Donald Trump. Let me have a conversation with Head's Breath. I will blast the whole facade. My brother is one of the paid actors. He gets paid $240,000 a year, which is like 100 and something above what all the other lawyers in California make, or 117, 120% above what everybody else is what my brother makes. And I'm balancing finances between me and mom, like trying to get my car fixed so I could just go to the store and take mom for a drive out in the mountains because that's all I want to do. I don't want to go to freaking Europe and backpack and go to a bunch of places and figure out, hey, everywhere I go, there I am. My brother did all that. My brother grew up in, I never went to Disney World. I'm not a part of that world. But he was human trafficked when he was 12 years old because my grandpa was Freemasons, grandma's Eastern Star. And they passed their grandkids around to their friends all over the United States. And then they do it under guise of, hey, because like, my brother made friends with a kid at the pool, and then the kid said, come out and visit my family for a week, and did that. No supervision, just my brother. And he was not the same person he was when he got back. He learned how the decent people live. He got a taste of blood is what he did, and I just figured out like 6 months ago, I looked up Kissimmee, Florida, and it said that's where, because I was like, I didn't get to go. I never got to go. I didn't get to do the fun stuff. I always had to sit back and wait while everybody else did the fun stuff, and they'd always come up with reasons like, you can't go. It's not for you. And then I grew up and I was like, everything's for everybody. They just lied. They're just a bunch of freaking weirdo liars. So I don't have a lot of friends because I don't like liars. I just rather not have anybody around me than people that I gotta fucking figure out if they're telling me the truth or not. I just rather not. And usually I get, like, everybody has the propensity to lie, but people are motivated by a lot of different things, and some of those things are money. The things like, when you find out what, like, people that will do anything for money, those are not the people that I want to know because they are compromised. And I don't want to know people that have their content of their character is easily compromised. Because mine isn't. Because mine's not. So we're going to get more of this, and we're going to have more people unhoused. More people are going to be homeless. More people are not going to have a place to live because this is just going to move across the United States, and it's just going to be windy in all these places. But hey, it's okay because if it passes over, I never understood why. I always thought military bases should be like this, like the helper to the American citizen. And like why they're not on, protecting just American land because we never ever have any business dropping any blood on any foreign soil. We shouldn't even have a VFW. It shouldn't even exist. The fact that's just so a bunch of people can sit around and get drunk and talk and make themselves feel better for being heinous for a paycheck. That's all that stuff is. Like the military should just be like, working every day to educate the community, to work with the community, to work with infrastructure, to learn from the kids and then teach the kids on how to make clean water and to have fresh food. It should be a congruent thing. It should be a constant congruent of learning and education. But people just learn what all they need to know and that's it, and then they stop. And does the world evolve? Do people progress if people just do the same thing that they always done just because that's what they always done? Is that how things get better? Huh? Is that a thing? Power's gonna be out. Like the people like where I live, we got a electric co-op, and they're good about if it's a windy day, they're gonna put men out in trucks to sit out in their truck to pay them. They get paid good, you know. But like you look at the pictures of these men, they're not fit. They're not healthy. Like every time I see like linemen and stuff like that, it's like thank you for doing what you're doing. Do it as long as you can, because as soon as you can't do it anymore, the likelihood of somebody filling your position, it's not likely. So we're having less support staff. I've been talking about this 9 years, and now it's like in everybody's face. It's in their face, like plumbers. That's a stinky job. People don't. I always wondered, like, why don't plumbers like get the best luxury of everything because they have the shittiest job? Like we should really be coming up with better ideas to make things better for people that do the shit job. I would always did the shit job, and I would always be like, things would be a lot easier if we were allowed to do this. But the people in charge, corporate America, or the CEO, or the president, or whatever, they've never been in the position that I'm in, wanting things to make life better because they're Nepo Nancy Neds. And so they never get their hands dirty. So they don't care about how us lower echelon. I came up with a new term the other day. Maybe I'll call this stuff instead of I'm a heyoka, right? So I thought, okay, well maybe some days I'm a gayoka, and maybe another day I'm a goyoka. I don't have to just be one thing. I'm a multifaceted. I got too much Pisces in me. I was talking to the lady at the grocery store yesterday, and I was telling her all the Pisces I have in me, and she's like, my best friend in the whole world, her top three, her main three, she's a triple Pisces, sun, moon, and rising. And I was like, and she said, and I said, well, I told her about my Pisces, and she said, what does that mean? I said, just look at me and go, aw. I said, just pity me sometimes. Like when you know that I cry a lot because she sees me cry and stuff. But she used to work in a restaurant where I took mom to before. And so she's met mom. And so she's like, how's mom? And that makes my heart happy when people ask about mom. When they really care. Because some people ask, they don't give a shit. Don't ask about my mom. Don't put your false caring on my mom. That's bullshit. And so, but she cares. And so I was telling her about my Pisces, and she told me about how her best friend, her top three, she's sun, moon, rising in Pisces, and I was just like, oh. And she's like, but you know what? She is the most psychic, intuitive person. Like, she knows things. I said, I'm the same way. I'm a sidekick too. And I just let stuff go. I don't get caught up in, I learned to pick my battles, except my battles are personal to me. My battles are different, and I try not to live in petty. I have petty in me. I have the Freemason blood in me. I have petty. I am designed. I'm like programmed to be an asshole, but I'm trying so hard to keep my heart and not be a jerk to people. I try so hard. And then I listened. I'm so glad Marge Astrology is back. I'm so grateful that she is back with her perception. I think she's Sagittarius like mom, I believe. And I value, and she's actually how I ended up in Taos, New Mexico. It was a combination from Key Jin. She used to have a channel on YouTube, and Marge astrology. I was desperate back in 2020, and I was just I didn't know what to do. I'm like Sloan Bella like that. Like she'd go out for and hike, and so she gets into action. I get into action when I get fearful. I don't know what to do with all of the fear that I have from being powerless. So I have to put it in ways where I can do things that are useful. And so I started making weed cookies probably 7 years ago. Just give them to strangers on a Pete. I just put them. I just be like, hey, you like weed cookies? Yeah, here's one. Have a good day. Like they call us. I don't know. People call us. I'm Marge. Call me Marge. Don't put me in lump with me and with other people. And I don't make ever. When my dogs died, I stopped making cookies. I didn't have the heart 5555 to make cookies, so I changed. So I was like, I'm gonna make different things. So I make caramel. And now there's always ways that you can make people feel better and not worse. And I'm trying so hard to stay on the good side. I'm trying not to be provoked. I'm trying even harder not to be the provoker, because that's what I'm designed to do, is to provoke people. And I don't want to provoke. I don't want to knock people out of their center. I don't want to show anybody what anybody's true characters. I don't want to do that. I just want to take care of mom and make some good food and hand it out to people that are hungry. That's really all I want to do in the whole world. I just can't do it here anymore. I'm getting uncomfortable. I feel like I'm in a black fish bowl in here, and it's wearing on me. And it's okay in the winter when I don't go out so much, but when it starts getting nice and I want to go out and play, so now we got another move in us. We got one more move, and I'm not moving again. I will not move again. Wherever we move, I'll live there until I don't live anymore. I lived since 2020. I've moved 4 times in 5 years. And my moves aren't just like across town or on the other apartment complex. My move was from Salem, Oregon to Flagstaff to Taos, New Mexico. And then here I lived in Rancho de Taos 2 times and Arroyo Hondo once. And I'm trying to keep everything normal for mom while I'm packing stuff up by myself. Again. Sometimes I'll find a freaking hobo or something, give him $100 to help me lift the stuff I can't lift by myself. I think next time I'll just hire movers, like 2 men in a truck. They come here. They moved one of my neighbors in recent, so I know they come here. I'll just be like, I don't have a lot of stuff. I'll just throw it all in totes and boxes and let them sort it out, because I don't have, my body is aging at a very quick rate, and I have to not remind myself why. I just have to keep building toward a healthier tomorrow by choices of food choices. And I already did 4 sets of 100 this morning with my 20-pound dumbbells, because I do that. I can't go 2, 3 hour, 4 hour hikes like Sloan does, because mom's going to get up soon. I'm going to make her oatmeal. We're going to start our day. So I got to do it the best I got with what I got, And I'm just grateful that I don't have to deal with the rest of the bullshit. Like whenever I watch people that monetize their channels and stuff like that, or they're pushing products or they're selling something or something. I just always remember, I said they're doing this because they got to pay to live. I don't have to pay to live. I don't have much income, but what I pay to satisfy the electric company and people to just do remedial things, like cable. I don't think people should have to pay for anything. Nothing. I don't think money should be something that even exists. And it's so funny when I go through life, and every now and again I'll be like, what would you do if money was no object? And they always answer the question as if they had all the money in the world, which is the same thing, really. So let's not. So listen to the words that I say. And if money didn't exist, how would people? They would just get up. They would go get their. They walk into a grocery store. They put their food in what? Because they. You know why? Because Because what would be amiss and omitted would be lack. Monetary systems always derive lack. We didn't have enough money, so we didn't have enough food to eat. That's why people. I know people do things for all kinds of reasons. I can get into the reason why anybody does anything, depending on their background. See, I was thinking that my brother had like food issues. He had, because we would only get food like at the first of the month and the 15th, and mom would only get like $55 a month for food for me and her and my brother. And so she would get it, and he's a Virgo. He's got to take care of himself first. They always say they live for service to others. No, they hide behind that. First, they do all the things to make themselves comfortable, and then they charge all their do all. Then they're so tired from taking care of themselves. Maybe they have something left over. That's my experience with Virgo, and I have a lot of experience with Virgos. So mom would get food in the first of the month or the 15th or whatever, and then my brother would just eat all the food in 2 or 3 days, and then but mom would plan and account for meals and plan, and my brother was I just want to eat because I'm hungry because I'm a teenage boy, and I go to my friend's house and they get pizza and can eat whatever they want, and why can't you get it together, mom? You suck. But he didn't get that my dad was a Freemason and was just using, and his family was using his influence and power and authority to make life hard for mom. So if he really had a beef with how mom, would parent it and stuff, he should have taken it up with the guy that put us in harm's way. So I never looked at stuff with the mind of a child. I was always one of them old souls, is what they call us. We're an old soul. Careful about people that recognize old soul. Predators are looking for us old souls because they like tiny orifices. It makes them feel bigger, and they get that. And they take an old soul child like me that conducts themselves like an adult because we've always been treated like an adult because we never had a childhood. I wasn't playing with Barbies. My grandpa was playing strip poker with me when I was 2-3 years old. So when people say you don't know that it's wrong because it's your normal, and then you go and tell somebody about it, and they're like, no, that doesn't happen. And I'm the liar, but I'm not. They've been trying to make me the liar my whole life. And that's why I had to extra tell the truth, because they want to make me the liar. That's an organ. I don't want that. Turn it off. Because anytime you see out there, I look out there, it's just another story, just like when I turn on Roku, it's no different. Life out there is just as contrived as the stories that are on Roku. People I say a lot of the same comments on social media. I just go around dropping these little things like Washington, D.C. and Hollywood both exist to create a contrived reality, or national security is an oxymoron, like military intelligence. But see, people just want to believe so bad that the stuff that they believe in is true, that they will adamantly believe in lies. And I won't. Mom wouldn't let me. I grew up, she wouldn't let me. She wouldn't let me. She would made me see reality for what it was. It didn't matter what people said. People could say things all day long. What matters is if how they act if they show up for you. That's what matters. Doesn't matter if like those people that always say just if you need anything let me know. Why should the person in need make declarations? Aren't there so many empaths on planet Earth that we should just like all the comments of anything empath, like, oh, I'm an empath, it's so hard, I'm an empath, I'm an empath. It's like, you're an empath, why is the world suffering? Because you're shutting, because you can't get through your own pain to go help somebody else, and that's what being an empath is. It's like, yeah, it sucks. It sucks to see that. Oh, it's hard to watch stuff. It's hard to watch things get old. It's hard to watch. It's hard. My brother says it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch you suffer through your life. It's hard to watch. It pains me to watch. Oh yeah, why don't you do something to help me out there, bro? Never did that. But see, they like it hard. It makes them hard when they watch people suffer. That's what their real game is. It's so disingenuous. People really should serve themselves to learn about language and that words mean different things. And oftentimes, word definitions contradict what the word is itself. I've been trying. Aw, look at my horoscope today. It's sweet. I got a sweet horoscope today. I like Co-Star. It's all AI and stuff right now. That's all right. Whatever. It says you deserve someone who looks out for you. Stop making excuses for people who wouldn't cross the street to help you. The person who cancels plans, forgets your birthday. My dad and mom used to forget my birthday. And only calls when they need something isn't going to change. Cut them loose. And see, because it hurts my feelings when this happens, I have to be extra careful not to be that person in other people's lives. As a Pisces Venus, you have an uncanny ability to sense what others need, often before they do. This deep empathy comes from having your boundaries violated too many times. You learn to anticipate others to protect yourself. During this transit, your intuition about what will truly help is unusually accurate and perceptive. Trusting your gut will lead you to support that is genuine, not manipulative or misleading. Looking for those who care without strings attached, not those trying to fix you. I'm not broken. People have been trying to fix me, and I'm like, well, how am I supposed to be? Like, what character do you want me to play? My brother's one of those. He's one of those narcissists. I'm real good at. I didn't know they were narcissists. I just thought they were called jerks and assholes, stuff like that. And he would stack the deck in every situation. So I go into and I always paid attention to who his friends are. And then like how these guys, they all have the same friends, and they're like fraternity brothers. And the only friends they have or the friends that they have are based in loyalty from keeping secrets from when they were younger men. And then but men like that, they're always looking over their shoulder. You understand that? You understand that people live their lives in shadows, are constantly looking over their shoulder. There's no peace to be got from that. You understand? I'm pretty sure old Biff, that's what I call the leader of the not so free world. Biff, like Back to the Future, he's Biff. They've been building the character of Biff for all time. Dude, he's posturing himself for gold buildings in the desert. That's what, because he ain't gonna, he's already turned it over to his son-in-law and his son. They're already reaping the advantages of what it is to rape and pillage and cause harm in places we have no business, of being the machismo. I know the storyline about how his mom doesn't like him. That's why a lot of these, because they're the people pleaser in men, but they're lived to please the wrong men. They're the pick me girl in men, and they can always be compromised. Like it's all entertainment, politics, and all. It's welfare system for those chosen ones that, and then they get in, and then they take all the people that they care about, and they leave the people that weren't. And then the dark black cloud grows. The dark cloud grows like what was that movie? Never Ending Story, The Nothing. Because people are the nothing, because they have nothing inside. They're constantly trying to fill themselves with external stimuli so that they can fill themselves up, so they can play the character of what they want people to believe them to be. I'm just a character. My character is a stay-at-home daughter, is a devoted daughter that loves her mom, that came from an institution, and I know how shitty those orphanages are and stuff like that. And so when the whole world tells me put her in a home, put her in, well, one person has encouraged me to be her caregiver because he took care of his own mom and dad in the house that they grew up in, which was the house that he grew up in. I didn't have that same benefit, but I have the same heart space. Mom didn't know what she was doing when she was a single mom with 2 kids fighting a system. Fighting a system where, like, all she had, she looked at somebody sideways and they put her in the middle institution because of nepotism and influence. I've been anti-establishmentarianism my whole life. What's the actual word? The actual word is anti-establishmentarianism. That is how I identify politically. It's a philosophy and attitude that views a nation or society's power structure as a corrupt, repressive, or unjust, advocating for opposition to established authority. It's a circle jerk of greed, and I have no stake in their game. Emerging in the 1950s and 60s, same year my mom emerged, it represents a challenge to conventional mainstream social, political, or economic principles. But see, I don't go by doctrine. I got that from AA. I don't like to identify myself with any denomination, sect, But if I were to fall into a category of my belief, it's reindeer games. You know that song, All of the Other Reindeer used to laugh and call me names like Pinocchio. They wouldn't let me play in their little reindeer games. I'm Pinocchio. I was Pinocchio in a play once. My other horoscope says, you are feeling strong and energetic. Energetic is magnetic to me. So when I see energetic, in my mind, it's my magnetics of my body pulsing in congruence with my local community. It's a very good time to get started on that project or side idea. Your ambition and determination are well rewarded if you act on the opportunities coming your way. Well, maybe I'll just do that. Your birth chart has an outspoken, mutable character. This influence is now even more emphasized by the present constellation. If you could, you would leave everything behind and start over again. Change is good, but don't ignore your long-standing relationships. The earth element is underrepresented in your birth chart. I don't have any. I have house placements in earth. I think that's what keeps me on this earthly plane is my 7th and 8th in Capricorn. We're chilling. Lilith is sitting up there too in Capricorn. My Lilith is in Capricorn. Says you should be careful not to overcompensate, possible lack of dependence, strong responsibility, and caution. Wait, I gotta read that again. You should be careful. See, that's why I read astrology, because of that sentence right there. Because I have propensities, intense. I have blown up my life so many times because I got my feelings hurt, or somebody did something and made me mad. So like I would go, I wouldn't even see, because mom taught me you don't retaliate. You leave it. But I want to. But see, even if you want to retaliate, that counts. So I have to get to a place where I have no buttons, where people can treat me however they want, and they can. I get my car keyed a lot. My car gets spit on. Like people. I live in some. When you live in a small town, people know who you are, and then they wait till you're not around because they're little cowardly little, those shit stained bitches, and then they'll key your car. And I just gotta let them. I can't get mad about it, because when I get mad about stuff, you want to retaliate, then I'm just like them. If I act out, as soon as I remove from my heart that vengeance is mine more than God, good orderly direction, I'm like, I turned. They win. The devil got me. I let my devils win. As soon as I retaliate, as soon as I huck a loogie on them, as soon as I do anything like them, as soon as I go down to their level, that's when I lose. So, I tried to watch that show X-Files. I tried so hard. I knew people that were so into that show when it was first on and stuff, and it's just not my cup of tea. I just know, because because everything. I always knew that this, like, how do I say this? Reality. TV is based on reality, and then reality writes stories. Then they write stories about reality for TV. And then they say, that's not real. That stuff only happens in the movies. You see what I mean? Like, the psyop is just word salad. It's telling people to believe this, and then getting them to believe that, and then be like, okay, now get them to believe this other thing now. Because they're going to believe anything. They're just, they're never going to be like, hey, wait a minute. I was always I caught on. I was slow. I was reading about Abbott and Lou Costello. He was in the club too. Lou Abbott, and Costello. Because I grew up, I watched them because that's what my brother always wanted to watch. He always wanted to watch Abbott and Costello. I never got to pick what I wanted unless it was my birthday. So I watched the same stuff all these meatheads are programmed by. I just didn't go, my spirit wouldn't go along with them, is all. So Lou Costello he plays the little one like me. The Dudley Do-Good that'll believe in anything. He was only 52 when he died. That's the age I'm going to be. He died March 3rd, 1959. He's buried in Calvary Cemetery, Los Angeles. Early life. He was born on March 6th, Patterson, New Jersey. Insurance agent and a silk weaver. Whenever I hear that, I feel like a silk weaver. His father was Italian, while his mother was an American of Italian-French descent ancestry. So that his mom's a mail order bride. That's what I get from that. One of them human traffic people. With her grandfather being a native of Piedmont, Italy. He went to public school. He was a gifted athlete in what I don't know. Basketball? Why? He's short. Okay. You got to set him up to be the character, though. Stars shine. First they shine in sports, and then sometimes they cross over to politics or DC, because they all exist to get people to believe this story of what America is. Oh, so he did trick basketball shots. He started as a studio where he probably let his personality shine. One of his kids died. He sacrificed to one of his kids. One of his kids died at a year old. Yeah, like they all go by the same script, but they're like, no, it was just a terrible accident. He worked in a burlesque on the wheel, so he was athletic. Okay, good to know. And then he met Abbott. This guy, he played the straight man. This is what when you see a politician at a podium with a straight face that says we care and we're causing all this harm and we're going to take all your money for your own good and blah 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 blah. That's what it's based off a character called the straight man. Come on, buddy. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Hey, buddy. Guess what, buddy? And look, do people even get with the Hollywood with like people get these stars on Hollywood because they're the star, because they're the fallen angel. They're part of the script now. They're not truthful and authentic, and they decided to sign their soul away, and they're just gonna pretend to be whoever the highest paid wants them to be. So when they get these stars, you understand, like they have the molds and then they lift it up. They lift that star up. You understand when they lift that star up, to the world, the star is, oh, look, they're holding up a star. But to the star, they're doing this. You understand that? They're paying homage to their false demigods, Moloch, Baal. They all suck ball sack. So it's like, it's mirror. It's inversion. I myself am one of those inverted beings. Pains me to talk about it. I don't like to talk about it. It's not something that I'm comfortable talking about it. But I've been presented with evidence my whole life of putting together a picture that they altered me, my DNA genetically, from the time that I was in vitro in mom's womb in the incubator. And then I have my shot records from when I was a kid. Like, wouldn't somebody that had polio, like if they had kids and those kids had kids, like, and they beat polio, shouldn't they have the polio antibodies in them? So that way, like, when they're like nobody in that bloodline should, by definition of how science works, should get polio. Like, we should have the vaccinated blood by scientific, terms and woo woo and all that stuff. But they don't. But see, they were still giving me vaccines of polio. I've only had like 4 flu shots my whole life until I talked to the lady when I worked at Creighton. Every place I worked, it's like a free flu shot. And then so I was talking to her one time, because I show up early before everybody else, and I ask questions of things I want to know that they're going to answer to me, but probably not when public is around. So I ask questions like, why do people get sick with the flu after they get the flu shot? And they say things like, well, they put strands of the flu in the flu shot, and then that creates, they give you the flu, and then your body creates antibodies so you can fight the flu. That's why, like, antivenom for snakes, they take the venom from the snake. Like, that's how it works. So it makes no sense to me for medical people to give me vaccines for polio when my grandfather lived through polio. You get me? Like, they just fuck with us. They just mess with us, and then we hurt, or we're sensitive, and then we go out in the world, and the world ain't for sensitive people. The world is for narcissists, sociopaths, and psychopaths that like to toy with us that have souls, because they don't got none, and they don't get to enjoy. They're jealous because they don't get to enjoy the pleasures that we get. And so they want to take our pleasures away from us, and I ain't going to let them do that. I ain't going to let them do that. So I learned about the straight guy because my brother's one. We used to play cards. I'd leave the room, come back, and he'd try to stack the deck in his favor, but he was always off, and it worked in mine. And he would we get Trivia Pursuit games, and he'd sit there and he would study them. So when we go play the game, he studied. He's been studious. He's studied how to manipulate people his whole life. And I studied how to manipulate people through the people that I grew up around, that's all they do is manipulate people. But I got mom's spirit. I got mom's heart. I know the consequences of what happens by God Creator when you fuck with people. You don't fuck with people. You gotta leave people alone. But not everybody on the earth is a person. And the lizards are the ones that I toy with. And I can recognize them because I got lizard in me. I got that colonial blood. You recognize in the world of art that the color white is the absence of all color? So in my mind, when I see pasty white people, they are the absence of all color, which is tied to every emotion and every frequency. So they have the propensity and tendency to have no soul and no spirit unless they override their natural course of action and be extra generous and kind and authentic. Like, you got to work harder. You got to overcompensate for your deficits. See, that's why brown people, they got the emotions, they got the colors, we're all brown. Black is all the color of the rainbows. People are jealous of people with black, dark, beautiful, gorgeous skin because they got all of the soul, they got all of the spirit. And people don't like it because it takes away from them. Well, why don't you be around people with all the spirit, and then you can learn what it is to be a spiritual being. And it doesn't, see, but people don't want to do that because being a spiritual being, like an authentic spiritual being, there's no place for tourism. So, like, traveling hither, dither, make me yawn, that's all egoic stuff. Because people can meditate and get to the same places, and you don't need all the airfare. I like to go places. I don't like getting there. I don't like to travel. I don't like airplanes. I don't like all of that. Like, I was pretty fortunate. I don't know if I've ever missed I think maybe once I missed a connecting flight once. One time it was one of those, like, I had a 2.5, 3 hour window of a layover. And I usually land and go to the gate where I'm going to wait there. Maybe get something to eat. And when I eat, and then I go to the gate, and they're like, well, there's a part broken on the plane. So we're going to try and hurry and fix that to get flying on time, right? Now, I worked in the Air Force. I was in the Air Force 6 years. That's all I could stand. I knew it was a lie. And so I was always, like, I was always around the people that did the work, that turned the wrenches, because I was I was flight line support. I turned the wrenches. And so I was around the people that turn the wrenches, and you have conversation with these people, and they're just not there. They're a body in a uniform that's turning a wrench. They're not real intelligent. Like, you give them one job to do, that's all that they can do. And so, like, I would go, and I would walk around, like, the hangars when they'd have all the panels off of the RC-134s and stuff like that. The reconnaissance plane, the looking glass planes, the eavesdropping planes, the planes that give America permission to tap into anybody's cell phone they want and they see what you're up to under the guise of national security. Those planes. And so they would take these officers, I'd ask questions and stuff like that, and they'd answer, like crew chiefs, and they'd answer. And I'd be like, how does the wing of an aircraft stay on? How does a wing of an aircraft, like what does it take? And they're like, well, if you look at how an aircraft is designed, the wing of an aircraft sticks in like this. It's only held on by 3 bolts. Every wing on every aircraft is only held on by 3 bolts. 3 bolts. The really, really long bolts. But when I think about in terms of work ethic in the United States of America in 2026, and I think about like all the social media, people racing around their cars and do it like they aren't motivated for education and um, upgrade training. Okay, they're satisfied with what they know, and so you don't have people that have lines of thinking. So I see all these planes falling out of the sky all over, like mostly United States. I don't hear about it in other parts of the country. And what that tells me is people have got lax in their disciplines, their maintenance disciplines. People have got lax. People have got into such a subdued state of good enough that they're not following through with steps and procedures, and those 3 bolts that are holding wings on, or the maintainer that swapped out the fuel filter. Like there's so many factors that come into maintenance, and that there are less people that have the mental capacity to put all those factors together and create viable products where people are even safe to ride. I will never buy a new car. They 3D print plastic parts for new cars and trucks. And then people put their babies in them and drive them around like they're stolen cars, because in their mind new can handle whatever because it's new, so you could drive it like it's stolen, that F-350. And it's like these cars are, they're melting. Like new is so unreliable and so unpredictable because the people that are making these products are reliable and unpredictable, and that comes out in everything they do. What we are comes out in everything we do. I have to be an authentic person because I have so many planetary alignments that make it really easy for me to be fake and hide behind this and manipulate and steal and cheat and do all of those things that I'm basically conditioned to do if my heart didn't override it with my connection to source, spirit, God, creator, those things that say, don't lie, cheat, and steal. Don't lie, cheat, and steal. And don't do butt stuff. Those are my primary. Don't be fornicating and cheating and lusting and all that. Don't do those things. Go use those energies that you have that you want to port. Like I used to go to bars and stuff and like watch the whole animal scene of people picking up on other people. It's like animalistic, And the real world of animals is hard enough. Jackie hasn't been back since yesterday. I don't even want to pay attention to those eagles because natural world is brutal. Another eagle from another nest, the mom died. Now we got single dad eagles. Like people care about that, but how many single dads are out in the world because their mom died? Like people get married, they have an idea of how their life was going to be, and then life has an idea of how it's going to be, and it don't match up to the picture in your mind, and then people are left to do with the best they got with what they had. I didn't plan for, I did plan, but not really. Like I knew I was going to be taking care of mom forever. I didn't know I'd have to do it, like fight the system to do it. I didn't know I just thought I would just have a house and live in it. No, I live in this house and they're like, "Ma, I want my house back. You gotta go live someplace else." Well, how nice it is that you have extra houses that you can live in. Look how many people are losing their extra houses. It's gonna be a bad day for a lot of people in the United States. The divided states. Divided states. It's going to be a bad day for a lot of people. It's going to be one of those days a lot of people are going to lose a lot of their things. You're going to hear a lot of stories about, but that's okay because things don't matter. right? It's lives that matter, right? How many times have I heard that? It's lives matter, lives matter. Well, why can't we give people better quality of lives because money's not real? We should just be letting people do whatever they want on planet Earth. We're here for such a short time. If people want to drink themselves to death, fucking let them. If they want to fucking, like, if they want to, go around, just let them. Just let them. As long, no, my only rule is if you look at kids, you end it. You lose it. You lose all your ability to do whatever you want when you frickin' take the free will of a child away. That's my rule. So this is gonna keep passing across the United States. So this is gonna create a lot of tornadoes, a lot of wind, a lot of down power lines, a lot of rain real fast that the ground isn't going to be able to hold, and then it's going to saturate the ground, and then the ground gets wet, and then everything that the ground holds up gets loose, and then you got it's just a bit. But how many of the people that aren't in the path of the storm? See, this is every time a storm happens, I think this. I'm like, for those that are going through it, may you find peace. For those of you going through the storm today, may you keep the peace, because I've been through the storm. I've been through the storms trying to keep mom and the dogs comfortable like nothing is happening when there's no power for hours. But I got 2 generators now. So whatever happens, I can handle it for a little while. But people don't get like stuff that's happening now. We're getting our karma from creating third world country, from causing harm to the earth. Just from dropping bombs, it scours the earth. It hurts the earth. She doesn't like getting punched by LD energy. She doesn't like it in her back. Hey, wake up! Let me do it to you. You're my girl. Like, you gotta. It's the rules. You said you would. America's built on butt stuff. And then they have parades about it. And then they gotta eat $4 billion worth of Viagra to maintain their illusions of men, their guise of men. When all they have to do is go out and do manly. It's manly. Go do go over help some old lady or some old dudes. No, I think men should help men and women should help women. So go find an old guy, and that his power lines or his trees are touching the power lines and they're at a risk to start a fire. And the once the fire starts, and it's power out for everybody. So let's help keep our community, keep our power, and just go out and help trim branches and stuff. But the thing of it is that that is where the local government, we should have buildings like libraries where everyday civilians can go in and just get whatever tools they need to go out and pick up trash or trim trees from power lines, or just civil stuff. I know that we're likelihood of a world without money is never going to exist, so I can dream about that in my meditate state. But what I can do is I can find programmers, right? See, because there's so much money. And they just never, in New Mexico, they have so much money, the stupid cousins just don't know what to do with it. And, when people travel to New Mexico and tour here and do their stupid taco, red or green Christmas shit, understand that New Mexico was buddies, good friends with Jeffrey Epstein for 26 years. 26 years people turned their head. 26 years people pretended like nothing was wrong here. Everything's okay here. While young boys and girls every day go missing. Of all ages. People of all ages, because they don't care about the life they sacrifice. They just want a life to sacrifice, and they don't care if the person's important to other people or not. Emily Pike. Every one of my videos, I'm going to say her name now, Emily Pike, at some point in every one of my videos. It's been a year that they found that girl and they called 3 times. She called for help. I was always the girl. Hey, I need help. And then the men show up and they're like, suck my mare. And I'm like, that don't help me. It happens to a lot of girls. Luckily for me, that wasn't my case directly, but I had other gross stuff happen to me. And, they've been locking kids in foster care up in sheriff and police stations in rural communities in Oregon when I lived there. Like, you want to know what the world is now? Go watch Toys with Robin Williams, and then go watch Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. And then that's what your world that people buy into now. Because every time they give focus to something gross, even if you're trying to educate somebody, like I'm trying not to do that again. I'm back on that kid. I don't want to use like gross examples. I just want, if people want to know what the gross examples of what non-human entities attached to people in their soul sacks are capable of doing. I have a lot of those stories. Just know that people are capable of doing really terrible, heinous, gross things. And if you are willing to go along to get along, that you might get caught up with those people and they will have you do anything and everything, and then you'll never get those pictures out of your head, those things that you did that one time. And so you'll be at Christmas dinner, and then you'll just get a flash of that one time you did that thing, and you can't ever get rid of it. And people like do things when they're under duress, because the buddy guy, like America was taken over by people in far off lands, like Half My Blood, but to the indigenous, like Mom's Blood, they're never sorry about it. They just took stuff, they killed, they did all this stuff, and they've been doing it ever since. And they never got in trouble for it. So that's 250 years of people doing shitty things without getting in trouble. So that's a lot of karma that's coming about. And just like letting people be shitty. See, people are going to be shitty. I can't do anything to stop them. All I can say is hey, I see what you're doing there. This is what you're doing. I see it as you're doing. Then that's a shitty thing. That's all I can do. That's all I can do ever. So that's all I ever do. I have my little channel where I talk about, hey, that's a shitty way to behave. Hey, that ain't fair to everybody. Hey, that only benefits you. That don't help anybody else. That don't help no orphans. That don't help no foster kids. That don't help no, that don't help. People that perpetuate the old program are doing nothing for the reprogram. People that talk about elections, sports, religion, Hollywood, you're just perpetuating the same old shit. But how many of these people are gonna go around their spiritual freaking, guru world tours, and they're gonna go, like, I wonder if like these places are even gonna be here. It looks like Ohio's gonna get hit pretty hard today. In some places in that, but Springfield, Kentucky, Nashville, like it's that right there that's gonna make people's butt pucker. I know what it's like to be of little access, and that's what this stuff does. It cuts off access. Like, you got people that, like, kids can't even be at peace unless they have their devices. I hide my device. I lose my device a lot too, but sometimes I'll set it down from myself and then I'll forget, and then I don't have it for hours. But I'm too busy taking care of Mom and doing stuff that I should be doing. People do too much of what they want to do. They should be doing more of what they ought to do. Oh, you don't want to do that because it's not fun? Oh, well, it still needs to be done. So who's going to do it? Someone that's lesser than you? So it'll be a wild day for a lot of people. I wonder, like that one guy, his birthday is the same day as my sister that died. He's in Tennessee. Wonder if his power is gonna hold up. Dude, this storm goes from Del Rio, Texas, outside of that, Sanderson, Texas. This thing is crazy. This is one solid storm. But I guess if people don't ever like have to live through storms, they don't have to worry about storms because they don't really know what storms entail. I have come to the realizations that these storms happen like this because we have the earth grids, the latitudes and longitudes, and so they collect all the fear that all these people have, right, in the United States and the whole world because of bullshit that they're going on over there. I don't think that real people are. I don't disbelieve that real people are. I know, hold to be true in my heart that real people are dying. They are just dying for reasons that are contrived and made up. Like we could have bombs, but they can do whatever they want. We're autonomous beings. It's the narcissists. It's people that can't control themselves, try to control their external forces. So they're the ones that need to be looked at. That's why they're doing all this stuff. Because this guy just had to get his willy wet, and he did it in girls that he should have left alone. Maybe boys too. No, who knows? A pervert's a pervert. They're just looking for a place to put it. They don't look at like there's perverts don't look at women like, oh, she's a pretty girl, she's a nice girl. She'd be the kind of girl that she's gonna be she'll be a nice wife. She'll be a good. No, it's not like that. Is you got the mind of a pervert, of a creep, of a freak, of a weirdo, of a wackadoo. All they're doing is looking for places to put their parts so they can chase their sensation. Women aren't even women to them. They're just and even dudes aren't even dudes to them. They're just a pocket for their wiener. They're a wiener that they can put their pocket in. That's what these weirdos think, that it's all chasing sensations. It's all perversion. It's all sex. It's all It all smells like locker rooms, and it's all nasty, and it's all gross, and none of it is what God wants you to do. None of it is good orderly direction. All the times I used to work in hospitals. I talked to the people in the ER. I always ask them the same question. How many times do you take x-rays with people with light bulbs or stuff stuck up their butt? Because they're chasing a sensation. They're doing weird stuff they shouldn't do. And then they get themselves in predicaments that they can't get out of. Then they got to go to the hospital, and a doctor has to dig the thing out of their butt. It happens all the time. All the time. But because of HIPAA, like you can't, like they talk about it, but they're not going to put the name on it because they don't want people to be terribly, terribly embarrassed. I am so ready for so many dirty, filthy, fucking nasty perverts to be terribly embarrassed. This is, I'm ready for America to fall as an entire nation. Republic, whatever. I don't care. It's all reindeer games. And none of it does anything good for parents that have kids that are just trying to keep a roof over their head. None of it. The world is run by perverts. It's not just America. It's just a club of perverted dudes that care more about butt stuff. And nobody should ever pay for medical care. Why does being a human being have to cost you your life? Because demons will have it that way. Because it creates more stress. And they get their little rocks off when people are feared. When people are scared. It goes into the earth grid. The earth grid siphons up the loosh. And then the people feed off the loosh in their weird little rituals under their concerts at their venues. You know what? I'm pretty sure that Justin Timberlake, he's going around trying to block shit. He's trying to be a truth blocker because he doesn't want people to see how he really is with the he's a puppet of demons, understand? I used to know a guy, Gavin, worked at he signed an NDA. I didn't. And he worked at CenturyLink. It's called something different in Omaha. It's where all the concerts are, right? I saw people that I don't even like anymore, but I saw him there. That dumb lady, the comedian Amy, saw her there. Never watched another one of her comedy shows again. Who else did I see there? I saw all kinds of stuff. I went to dog shows at CenturyLink. Anyway, they're right next to the Hilton. They're right now. They're connected to the Hilton, and then they have. And the guy I knew, he worked for the IT department for the Hilton. He had to sign an NDA. I didn't. And he worked for the Hilton, signed for the NDA, and they had in his room. They had all these. They had cameras everywhere. They recorded everything too. Everything's about security, but their definition of security is like blackmail, kind of thing. And so I remember when JT showed up there. And I knew other people in the community, and a freak's going to be a freak wherever they are, because wherever you go, there you are. And dude's gay. Like, he's been caught with other dudes back in the early 2000s, you know. He's just playing a role because he can play, he can get people to go to his concerts and buy into his bullshit if he's a family man, but that guy ain't never been a family man. And one thing about, see my eyes, how they're glassy like that, like I got sparkle in my eye. I quit smoking weed. Sometimes I eat chocolate or caramel candy, but I'm trying to watch my sugar. But if you look at an alcoholic, someone that has drank and drink and drink and drink and drink and drink and drink, they get to a point like they're never sober. They can never draw a sober breath. I saw, even if they pass out at night, 10 o'clock, they get a good night's sleep, they wake up sober, you're still going to smell alcohol on their breath. I ran into a guy yesterday, 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, this guy's a boozer. I can't eat his candy because he's a boozer. And so I got to cut ties. I can't, when people openly allow attachments into them, then I can't risk what they're going to try to attach onto me. So, yeah, it takes your spirit. Oxygen is what animates us. Oxygen, we breathe, and then our electricity, in congruence with our electricity system, what makes our heart beat. So breath and air, and then our spark is our fire, and then we breathe air, and then we do tangible things, right? That's what God intended. Make the heaven on earth with the power we have within us. People don't do that. They're more about perverted, weird stuff, so they don't use their energy wisely. And they literally drink alcohol. And alcohol, when you do a test, if you get in trouble with the police, they'll take your blood, 111, 111. They'll take your blood, or you'll take your breath. Your blood or your breath to determine how much alcohol is in you. Now, when you remove your spirit, that all the things that connect you to God, source, creator, all the things that have you, good orderly direction to me is what God, just, if you see garbage, pick it up. If you see trash, try to make it less trashy, whatever. If see something, say something, all that stuff. Just don't, just all that stuff. And so you got people that replace the oxygen in their blood with alcohol. And then you have people that consume alcohol, the spirits, and then so they're moving their connection to spirit with their connection to other spirits, and then they go out in the world and they kill people with their cars, and they mangle, and they shoot their parents, and they do all these horrible, deplorable things. And then they don't remember doing it because they weren't themselves, because they were in the passenger seat while they let the demons use their body for an evil puppet. Yeah. And now I see people going on their health journey. I see me cutting my sugar. I see me not smoking weed anymore. I see me changing my diet. I see me, and then I look in the world for other people that are doing that too. And it's hard. They're hard to find, because I don't find the people like me in the gym. If people are wasting 15 hours upwards in the gym, if you can't match those 15 hours of doing shit for people that can't do nothing back for you, to you, that is uncomfortable and you don't like but people are just doing what they want to do all the time. They're not really doing stuff that they like. I don't like to be inconvenient. I don't like the idea of going out when it's cold and feeding. I want to stay where it's warm and be egoic and selfish. Spirit, my connection will not allow that. See what I mean? Like,
If you got a connection to spirit, you're going to live a life in service. If you let your ego run the show, your ego's going to run the show. There's not a whole lot of room for good orderly direction. You're going to be sought for a fake and a fraud. You know, like, it's just because the truth always comes out. Truth always comes out. Truth always comes out. You can't fake who you are. I can't fake who I am. I'm a clown. I'm a Heyoka. My name's Marge, and I just like to have these little talks. Because I found if you talk about things and get them out and hash and reason it out, that it makes those things that seem so big in your head a lot smaller and less important. Well, I don't have friends, so I just talk to myself on the internet, and people watch me. Every now and again, I'll get a thumbs up or something, but my channel is not made to be a large channel. I'm not for the masses of asses. I'm for, like, a very small group of individuals. Very small group. I've tried my whole life to, because I've had such a remarkable life. I've lived such a remarkable life. I see in other people, I just see the good in everybody. And I'm like, oh, well, they look like they're good, you know, and I reach out to them, and I'm like, I got ideas, you got ideas, maybe we could expand our ideas and do good things in different parts of the world together, right? And then I do that, and they're like, no, I don't want to know you. And then I'm like, well, you must not really want to do good things, because I really want to do things. And then I'm like, oh, they don't want to do things. They want to reap the benefit of doing some good things enough so that they can do what they want. But it's not about them inconveniencing themselves. And in order to be a well-rounded, authentic being, you have to do things that you don't want to do in life. You have to. You have to. You have to eat food that you don't like because it makes your body healthy. You have to exercise when you want to sit around all the time because you got to keep that blood flowing and circulating, because that's what keeps your arteries and your veins clean from all the oils and saturated fats and sugars and stuff that we clog our own plumbing up with from making ourselves feel better. Because I'm going to eat this. Because when I was a kid, I got the same programming. If you're good, you can go to McDonald's. Well, if I'm good, I get food. Or if you feel bad and you want to make, that's even worse. If you feel bad and you want to feel better, go to McDonald's and get some French fries and dip your fries in a shake. You'll feel all better. All those pains, all those things that make you feel bad, you just won't remember them anymore. People have to face their emotions. People have to face all those things that make them feel bad. I faced all the things for a long time, and now I'm living in my avoidant era, and I think the rest of the world has lived in their avoidant era, and now they're having to face reality for whatever it is for them, because it's subjective. It's subjective. Reality is subjective to people based on their frame of reference. I do not have the same reality as Mom has, as everybody else has, but I have lived the world that all these people lived. I've visited the earth and tried to be a part of the military family and the brother and sister in arms, but they got too excited about stupid shit that doesn't matter, and I couldn't do that no more. They like killing people, and my heart says, thou shalt not kill. And I don't get excited and like get aroused by people that suffer. That don't turn me on, and it turns them on. So I don't hang out with people that do weird shit. And there's too many people in the world that got away with doing weird shit. And too many people sat back and let it happen. At least I say shit. I ain't gonna fight nobody, but at least I say, hey, you asshole, I see you for the asshole that you are. At least I say shit. At least I tried in life. At least I'm gonna die from this planet freaking, like, trying to tell that, you know, like, you can believe how the world, however, you can think your dad's the greatest dad that ever existed. You think your uncle, your brother, you can think all women too, bronze, dad, like, but people have their shadow sides, and the nicer that people are, the bigger their shadow, because they gotta overcompensate to hide what is lurking in their darkness. I've seen it my whole life. I try to disprove it. I try to disprove these things. I try to, like if I meet somebody, here's a perfect example. My step monster, her birthday was September 29th. And she was so deplorable and horrible to me that you would think in my heart that if I ever met anybody else that was born on the same day as that evil step monster, that I would by definition not want to have anything to do with them. But I don't think like that. I meet other people that are born on that day and I'm like, maybe you're the light. Maybe you're all the good character aspects that she wasn't. Because people are born in different, and people have free will and they can choose to do good things, or they could choose to put liver in my milkshake. And that's what she would choose to do. She would lock me out. In Bakersfield, it got hot in Bakersfield. That's when you learn to let the water run that sits in the hose. And then you got to let the water spigot draw the cold water from the earth, because you can burn your mouth on hot water from the hose. People think it's funny to be neglected. It's not funny to neglect children. It's not funny to torture people. It's not funny. It's not funny. And I go back and I watch Roseanne, and she's just as culpable as everybody else. She has a good life from talking about the evils of the world, but if you look at her, like how demonic and warped her episodes were with like DJ, like with the head and the like, all that stuff is just perpetuating the story to get people to think that evil, nasty, gross stuff is cute and cool and she's a truth teller. Dude, Roseanne Barr never done me no favor. All these truths, like, I have crossed paths with Jesse's, like, I've exchanged correspondence with these people, okay, like with Kathy O'Brien and Jesse Zaboter and like even some of these spiritual giants, like I've IM'd and gotten responses from Heidi, Channel 27. She don't do videos anymore. She just sits back and watches and then profits from pretend money systems. But that's her program. I wish her all the best. And then you got the like people like I see remarkable in things in them, but they don't see the remarkable in things in me. Or maybe they're worried that I'm going to see that they're not as remarkable as I might think they are. Right? So I've written all these like really important people, and I've like told them things like, yeah, when I was 13, I read the sheriff report about what happened when I was a 10-month-old baby, and I was like, oh shit, that's why my hip pops when I do those bicycle exercises that the PE teacher has me made, right? Because of what happened to me when I was a 10-month-old baby. But if I talk about it, the whole world shuts me down. They don't want to hear about it. Because, see, I'm a credible source, and they don't want to hear how their systems are discredited. I can discredit systems, see, because I lived through it. I had horrible, deplorable things happen to me, and still went on to defend my country, to sign my life away, and maybe risk death. I risk death when I go to the grocery store in Taos, New Mexico. You understand that? Like, every place is a dangerous place now because we did things over there we shouldn't have. Now we're getting our karma on the U.S. soil. So I've reached out to all these important people. I tell them my story, like my rags to riches, back to rags story, in hopes that more people can see you can go through hell and still have a pretty smile on your face. You don't have to succumb to the butt stuff and the evils of the world. You don't have to, but people use their free will and they do so. And then they get the consequences from that, and then they don't like it. And then when people start figuring out that they're dirty, nasty grossos, and that people are going to look at them like they're gross, that's what they don't like. When people are seen for how they really are, they don't like it. So they try so hard to pretend like they're something, like they're good, decent. I don't want anybody to think I'm a good, decent. I would rather people think I'm a shit stain on the fabric of society. And when they want to be around me. If they want to be around me, they find out like, man, this chick is really generous. This chick is really cool. This chick is funny. She's smart. She's not all these things that other people said. And I don't judge people by other people. I give people the benefit of the doubt for who they are. Because they could be an asshole to everybody else, but they could be cool to me. You never can tell how people are going to be to you, so you just gotta be, but I don't know. I guess when you're psychic intuitive, you can figure out, like, who's going to use you and who's going to not and stuff like that. And you just don't bother with people so much anymore. But the more people are connecting to Spirit, Source, Creator, you're going to see more people like their health journey and doing more random acts of kindness. People are like, I'm never in line with it. Oh, you got to keep all the good stuff you do secret. That is such bullshit. There's so many people on this earthly plane that would do good deeds and kind and generous things. They don't know how to because they were never shown what it is to be kind and generous. You see? Like, because they're taught that you got to save all your money and pile it away and do whatever you want with it. And it's not even real. And I think it exists to make people comfortable. I want to find a programmer that can help me create an app where civilians, everyday Joe Blows, doesn't, you go out, pick up trash for $14-15 an hour. I heard it on TikTok the other day. I have this idea. And I want to come, I can't do the things that it takes to do it, so I want to ask other people, but other people are more about money and butt stuff, and they don't want to help me do what I want to do to make the world a better place. And so, I heard a kid the other day talk, he was in his 20s, he's like, why can't there be a thing where I just pick up garbage all day? Because I would do that. There are people that would do that. And then the local communities, like where I live in Taos, they have their own industrial campuses, trade schools here where people can learn all the things from learning how to use the excavator to doing the maintenance on the excavator. And then going out into the world and using the excavator to move earth to do useful things. And then you get tiers like that. Like you start out picking up trash for the county, and then you do it few months, and it's like, you show that you're a dedicated worker, not employee, worker. I want to see dedicated workers, not employees. Employees will bend themselves over on conference tables. They'll buckle for anything. They're little bitches. I don't want employees. I want people that are workers and that have pride in themselves and do good work. And then they pick up trash for a couple months, whatever, and then it's like you show skill and ambition. You prove that you want to make the world a better place, so let us help you make the world a better place by advancing your skills in the community. And they move up and they get to go, maybe go fill potholes, or and then you do that, and then people have to learn the worst parts of every job before they get the benefits to reap the heaven on earth. And you got people that are just reap, and they're taking and taking. And they're stacking the deck, and karma is just about to pop off everywhere. I'm just gonna hide from it. That's all. I'll just keep doing what I do. Stay at home, take care of mom. Entertaining myself, trying to do side gigs by freaking making stickers. I don't sell this shit. I don't sell nothing. I don't sell cookies. Fun cookies and candy. I don't sell anything to anybody, because I'm trying to show people how easy it is to live within your means and then have excess and use that to help people that just need a break in life, because there's a lot of people. I was one of them. I just needed a break. I got my break. My Earth Angel Ann, she came in and she helped me for years. Made it so I could be comfortable enough that I didn't have the economic security that I had while I was taking care of mom and the dogs were getting old and stuff like that. Like, it's hard enough to get through life when you lose things that you love, but having to freaking support systems that don't care about you so that they can go on their trips to Zorro Ranch and Epstein Island. Dude, it's so much bigger. Perversion and deceit and lies is so much bigger than the Epstein files. Why can't people see past that? Like, there's so many young, youthful beings that got victimized and, like, ruined sexually and stuff like that because it started out going along to get along because they were just a really nice guy and girl. And then they, like, strike. Have you ever had a predator strike at you? My brother did it to me once. He came at me full force, 165 pounds. He was a state wrestling. He came at me, swooped my feet from out from under my feet. My head went back, cracked. And then he got on top of me, put his legs over my arm, picked me up, and then slammed my head onto the ground. It's a miracle I'm alive today. I had no defense because he was taught by his high school of what to do, and he used it against his little sister. I forgave him for that. I never forgot. And then he always liked to make fun of me for flinching around him. Because I'd flinch. He'd move and I'd flinch because he came at me. Because I never could trust him again. Because once you know what people are capable of, oftentimes, and there's so many things that I'm not capable of, but people are capable of, and they think that I am because they are. Because they see, like, whatever they see in me because they got it themselves. Like, I didn't do good in AA because everybody just went around sleeping with them. I didn't do good. I never once was a part of that LGBTQ crap because it's another club. And I don't like doing the stuff that the club members do because I'm a monogamous being. I don't hoe around. I ain't a slut. I don't got no STDs. I have never had an STD. So no, it doesn't happen to everybody at some time. Some people don't get their genitals dirty because they do somebody that ultimately at some point did something with an animal. I don't know if I know there's things that exist called like a donkey show or something like that, but I also know that there's dudes that like do weird, gross things just to their dog because it reminds them of something. So you just never really can tell who you're dealing with in this world. That's why I'm a prude. I am a prude. I am a asexual, non-sexual being. I don't look for dates. I don't want to find somebody that I can be intimate with for all time because what I found out, it's all honeypots. It's all manipulation and, oh, don't do this. Oh, maybe you should do this. It's like, why are you telling me how I should act? I ain't never in my whole entire life had any parent, any girlfriend, anybody ever be like, you know, Marge, I support you in what you do. I had a guy write me a letter of recommendation once that's pretty dope. That I appreciate. But dude, it's not the same thing as to hearing, Marge, I see what you're doing and I support what you do. I don't get support about talking about what America liar is, what a liar America is. I don't get support when I talk about how the creeps all wear the same tassel shoes and all wear the same expensive suits and like they, like the overcompensators, how they hide. I just tell everything I know. I just tell the truth. I don't get compensated for it. I don't get paid. I don't monetize my channel. I just get so much income so much, and I just have to make sure that I don't get too many car payments and too many subscriptions and go on too many vacations where I have to pay so that I feel good about things more than I can just sit quiet in a chair and do nothing. Because I don't want to spend money on doing stupid bullshit. And most of the world does. Most of the world cares about money. I don't care about money. Money is a means to keep people off my back and help me do chores that I need to have done. That's what money is to me. I don't even need friends anymore. I just need to find people that are skillful enough that I can pay them to do things that I need. I used to think I needed friends, and then I came to this conclusion like, I didn't come here to make friends. I used to say that to my AA sponsor all the time. Marge, you need to be more friendly. You need to put yourself out there. You need to do this. You need to do that. And I'd be like, no, I don't need to do any of those things. I need to finish my enlistment in the United States Air Force. I need to finish my college education because that's why I enlisted in the United States Air Force. And anything and outside of any of that is nothing I need to do. I don't need to do it like you. That's what autonomy means. Is you don't have to do anything anybody tells you. Do people understand that? Like they can ask you nice and sweet, "Hey, pick up your shoes." Even your parents. Like like I don't have to pick up my shoes because you tell me to pick up my shoes. I pick up my shoes because I'm an agreeable person. Right? But then I look around and I see all these people, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. And then I used to be the pick-me girl, so I just do this, I do whatever people ask me to do because they figured out that they could use me to do whatever they wanted me to do. And they would never have to do anything back. And those are all the people, that's how I know how to find them in society. The parasites, they're the parasites. They're the energy siphoners. The CEOs, all the people at the upstart Apple, all the people that monetize their channels and have never done any. That's why I like Sloan Bella so much because she gave up her time. She gave up her kids' childhood so she could help other kids in homes in LA in early times. Like she gave up comfort that she had because she knew she had so much energy that she had to use it to help it for people. She couldn't just sit there and subdue her and sedate herself on drugs and alcohol because that wouldn't help her kid Keith and her other son, John. See her ex-husband, dude. They're only divorced on paper. They're forever married. Sloan, who you tricking? Whatever. You guys are only not attached monetarily, but you guys were married before you met and were together all that time. You don't just end that on paper and then you're not. Like that's not how it happens. Like even my dad, I don't like my dad. He's a gross guy. He was never cool to me. You know, but I always had a hard spot for him because I knew that when young men are young and macho and machismo-y like they are, that they always get old. I watched my grandpa do it. I watched my dad do it. Like they start out all big and tough, but then they get slower, you know, and then they can't mouth off as much because somebody's going to get the best of them someday, and they don't want to look bad in the eyes of others. So they start getting quiet. That's what's happened. Like all the people that are quiet, if you don't stand up for something, then you will fall for whatever you will believe in. I have no place for you in my world. I live that world, and it doesn't exist to me anymore. I did the AA. I did the nepotism. I was on Crete. I got to stay in a 5-star hotel because I agreed to kill people that didn't deserve to die in places we didn't. And then that's what they reward you, and then you come back and then you're rewarded for and then it's like, no, I didn't do any of those things that they said I did that was great. Nothing I did was great. People died. Don't ever thank me for my service. Like, thank you for people's service in 2026 is the biggest bullshit you could. It's like a smack in the face. Like, why don't you show me your wiener? I don't want to see that either. It's the same thing. Why don't you flash me your boobs? I don't want to see that either. It's equal. Whatever people say, thank you for your. It's just gross to me. Because I was the go along to get along crew. I could only do 6 years because I figured out what it was. And all those people that did lifers. How many people, like, do I know that in the military that got, like, kidney, transplants and stuff like that? Like, did you get that kidney transplant because you needed a new one or a military officer someplace needed one? And they gave you whatever you needed to get you to think, Like, who gets the good one? Who gets the bad one? They've been cutting on us and using us and getting people like me on as guinea and my mom as guinea pigs for years. And mom never, see, mom, that's why I speak out, because mom never would. Mom would never speak out about all the terrible things, but she shared it with me, so I share it with people. And that if other people had terrible things happen to them, at least maybe they'll feel a little less alone. Because I know all those people in the stupid stadiums and their little fucking Congress and everybody getting riled up about any bullshit politician, this or that. I remember back in 2007, my brother went to poli-sci class. He was a career lifer student, and then he went and became a computer program for the state of California, and then he went to law school, and then he went to work for the state of California as a lawyer, and then he would take like 5 years off and then do full-time Army Guard where he'd make his full benefits and gain rank, and then he'd go back to the state, and he did that back and forth shit. It's double dipping for sure, because you can never lose your job if you take a time out to go do military service. But he would do 5 years, make rank, time and grade, because most of the Guard, they take forever to make grade and rank because of time and grade. But if you dedicate time and grade, then you will make rank quicker. It's all a game. And then when there's officers that are making $18,000 a month, $17,000 a month, 08s, 05s, 07s, not 05s, 08, 7, 6, 7, 8, 9s. I talked about it the other day. Like, why does my brother deserve 15 grand and then his wife is bringing home? They're up to like 25 grand a month. And that asshole has not given me 1 cent to help me take care of mom. Ever. Ever. He came up to get her from Salem and took her for the weekend while I drove my truck at the trailer by myself from Salem, Oregon to Flagstaff without ever shutting it off because it was dying. The computer was dying. And so, and then I had to unload the trailer by myself, turn around the next day from Flagstaff, drive to Barstow where he drove down from Sacramento. We met, did the exchange, and drove back. Like, that guy ain't never done nothing to do me any favors. He likes to remind me how the world has never really done, Marge, the world has never really done you a whole lot of favors, has it? It's like all these people get all these favors. They get all these like even that king, the redheaded prince, like when he left the UK, he and his mail order bride, they're all mail order brides. They don't know what love is to marry for love. It's all to keep it in the bloodline and stupid weird shit like that. Come over here. One of his famous friends just said, hey, I got an extra house in Santa Barbara for you. $11 million house. You and your family can just stay here, no problem. Just for the clout that, yeah, I did him a favor that time. I let the prince stay here in my... Like, how many people are in California are homeless that could have gotten a favor from all these people that, have all these favors not to give? That have all... Like, military members... There's so many people that don't know the storyline that, like, it used to be, they would live in a place for 2 or 3 years. They'd buy a house... And then they'd get orders to go live in another place. And oftentimes they wouldn't sell that house. They'd turn it over to a property manager. Or they'd let a buddy live in it or whatever, They'd keep that house and then they move over there. That's what monopoly is. And then they move over there to another duty station. And then they buy another house. And then they, 2-3 years, move again. Another property management, still under their name. And some of these people have lived in 6-7 places during their whole military career. And then they got these houses all over the place, right? They're going to hang on to it because that's what rich dad, poor dad taught you. Like, McDonald's isn't about burgers and french fries. It's about real estate. It's about property. It's about the best property. Military isn't about security and defending America and the rights and freedoms of American system. No, it's about 190 150 bases with the most prime real estate, that we can access whatever we want whenever we want it, and that is what America does. America is the grandiose epitome of do as I say, not as I do, because what as I do is a pervy to you. That is America. And people gloat about it, and they build it up, and they talk about, like, well, you can talk about, how terrible America is. And that they won't throw you. Who says they're not going to throw me in jail for that? They're just waiting to get for a reason. That's why you got to be a law-abiding citizen. You can't break rules. You can't speed. You got to drive 15 in a 15. You got to drive 20 in a 20. You got to. And I'm like the one that's like, as soon as I even asked the one time when I had to get a new driving test. Had a driver's license for 10 years, but when I moved to Nebraska, no, because you have to feed the system. So I had to go to the DMV. I always go to the small town DMVs. You don't go to the big ones. Drive an hour if you go to a small town DMV. Like, there's shortcuts. So you go to the small DMV. Then I had to take the driving test, and so I took the drive. And I'm Flightline support. Like, the United States government already gave me a driver's license. So what you're doing is just silly. Everybody's got to get paid, though. That's what the military is. It's all about the contract. It's all about the deal, the art of the deal, and it hurts people. And so I got my driver's license in Nebraska, and I remember asking the lady. I said, "So tell me, if I'm driving in a 35-mile-an-hour lane, speed zone, and I come up on a 25-mile-an-hour zone, at what point does my speed need to be 25? Should it be at the point that I can read the 25-mile-an-hour sign? So if I have really good sight, and I'm going 35, but I see that 25-mile-an-hour sign, do I need to slow down to 25 mile an hour because I see that sign? Or does that speed become reality as soon as I pass that sign? Which is it? Because I don't want any discrepancy. So what does the law say? And they said, the lady that gave me the test said, when you see the sign. And I said, okay. Now I wonder if I went and took a test with every single other person that administered tests at that same DMV, if I asked them all the same questions, if they would come up with the same answer. Because if there's any sort of rules, policies, or procedures, you would get the same instance every time you dealt with the person. That's not how America operates. America is a do what I want when I want it. It's a narcissistic land. So you have a lot of people that there won't even be a rule or a right. It's all by most laws that exist because it's interpretation, and that's where the legal team comes in, so that they can dispute interpretations of what laws are. Well, how is that different than a Hollywood producer that comes in and hires a bunch of actors and says, we need to set this production so people think about things like this? See, that's where I always go back to DC and military being the same exact thing. They're both groups of people that sit around tables and talk about how they think things are or how they think things should be. And then they write it down on a piece of paper, no different than writers on a script for a story. And then they make that story happening by putting things in place. And then people see it, and then the people that see the things happen, they designate how reality is. Governments just put out, why would he act like that if I did that? Why would, my brother always did that. I don't know why she hit me, Mom. She just hit me. She just went crazy. She just snapped. No, it's because he's over here pinching me and hitting me and saying the most grossest things to me. And I finally can't. I could ignore it for so long, but I can't ignore it because of the heart space. I get the whole sticks and stones, break your bones, but people say things to get things. Like, I grew up in the Gen X generation, in the 80s, 70s, and like we used to play games that tortured us just to see how much you could take. Like, there's this game that, like, you make a garden. Like, you could tell people are, like, here's a garden, it's night. First, you gotta plow right? But when my brother would plow, he had nails. He would do this and, like cause harm. You understand the difference between the letter of the law and the lack of spirit, which can interpret the law? Do you understand the difference? Is this clear to people? I don't know if I think I don't, am I alive? I know I have a pulse. I don't get feedback. I want feedback. I'm looking for feedback. I got Gemini in me. So I want feedback. But I don't get feedback. And see, and I watch other people, their YouTubes, and because I'm a YouTube channel, you think, they always say, write in the comments, give me your feedback, give me feedback, right? And then I write feedback, and then they block me. So they don't want feedback. They want their little ego stroke. That's not feedback. My life is, I am who I am because of being criticized. Like, constructive criticism. Like, can you take somebody tearing apart your personal character and look at that and see where they're right? Because I do it all the time. I can. My life people say, you're a piece of shit. Okay, how am I a piece of shit? Well, you do this, that, and the other thing. But I don't do those things. And then I found out about reverse psychology, when people tell you about the things that they do. And that you got to be real careful about what people are saying about you, because that's how they behave. Yeah. Yeah. That's why I'm an open book. Every embarrassing thing I've ever done or said or acted out. This is my fifth step, essentially, on the YouTube. I have my whole fifth step out here. I told every dirty thing is in one of the 2,800 videos I've done in the last 9 years. There's not a whole lot of nasty, gross stuff out there, because I do nasty, gross things, and then I'm like, ooh, this is really nasty and gross. I don't want to be the person that does these things. And then I stop doing those behaviors, see, and then when I look in the mirror, I don't see a person that does gross, perverted things. But I am surrounded by culpable people that like to do gross, perverted things. They won't ever fess up to it. They'll go down with the ship. It wasn't me, man. It wasn't me. I didn't do that. And they'll just keep hiding and paying people off. Like any sexual abuse survivor that's taken a buyout, you took the buyout. Like, you took the truth you took money for the truth. Congratulations. You got money so you can think about for the rest of the life and live in a life of comfort about how the truth can get covered up because you took the deal. There's lots of ways to sell your soul by taking deals. I could have sold my soul by putting mom in a home. I still could. Hey, mom, this ain't working out. I want to go live my life. I want to go on vacation. I want to go to Italy. I don't want to do any of those things, understand? Because none of those replaces the time that I have with my mom. See, but when people that have come from a hard space where, like, they never took care of their mom, they never saw their parents as people. They just saw their parents as parents, and their parents should have done better by them. Well, maybe you should have done better by your parents. Maybe they would have been better parents. But people that put their family in a home, they don't like me because I won't put my family in a home. And they don't want to be considered less than. I ain't going to let somebody who makes $14 an hour wipe my mom's ass. They're not going to do a good job. I'm going to do it myself. Because she just don't do it herself no more. She had a traumatic head injury, man. People's brains don't work. Like, there's a lot of folks that don't understand how the body works. They don't get that. Like, you get a heat stroke when you're 15. Like, you can never be out doing things in the heat ever again because you will forever be susceptible to having a heat stroke. So you can't like living in hot climates. Like, there's so many places that I can't live because I don't like the things that are there. I can't when I was growing up, I used to watch, what was that show, Northern Exposure. I wanted to live in Alaska, and then I found out it's a lie, and it took place in Seattle, and I could live in Seattle and Washington, and it can feel like Alaska. Right? And then I moved to Oregon, And I'm like, no, it's not. Yeah, but it's all a show, right? It's all to get people to want to go there. Like, it's all to get people to be a part of a program. Like the whole idea of homesteading seems like a good time. I'm old now. I don't want to haul water and chop wood. I don't want to do that. I like electricity. I like when it's hot outside. I could turn on the air conditioner. I would like a wood stove. I always want to live in a place with a wood stove. But we've managed to get by with what we have. There's a lot of people out there that have way less than I do, and I see them because I've been the one out there just roaming the streets, trying to find solutions to problems in my life, trying to connect to Source, God, Creator, because I'm scared of the alternative. I don't want to die drunk. I don't want to be a waste of space. I don't want to be a loser on planet Earth. There's too many of them already. There's already people that drink too much and do too many drugs and sit around, do nothing, play video games all the time, or sit and research for their shows. All the people sit for 6 hours on the internet looking at headlines for shit that they can talk about on the internet. I am not that person. I go live my life and then I talk about the life that I've lived on the internet. I don't gotta create content. My life is content. I don't have to go looking for truth. The truth finds me. So, my voice is getting tired. This is the longest talk I ever done, so my ego must be flaring. So I'm going to go sit back and be quiet and let my ego take a step back and get quiet. And I did have storms in my dreams last night. And the waters will rage. And the winds will torment. And all these things are happening because people are not at peace within themselves. So I'm going to go work hard extra today to be with peace within myself, because that's how you counteract and circumvent storms, is by not being a part of the calamity that creates them. And I am built for calamity. I am built to bring the rage and the war. I am built for all of these things. My fight is to become compliant with my resistance in myself. People get mad because they resist their reality and how things are. And then they act out because they want to make things different because they don't like how things are. There's going to be a bunch of people out today doing a bunch of stuff. I learned a long time, don't get caught up in their stuff. Don't get caught up in their storms. Don't get caught up in other people's nonsense. Don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. If you see it on a screen, even if, just know that there's so much truth and so much lies that all combines to make the perceiver perceive. That's about all I got for now. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you have a rad day.